Hello, Bill Molyneux here for Bill's History World with none other than Goober the Traveling Bear. And we're here in Surry, Virginia at Smith's Fort. And we're going to take a tour of the mansion here. And behind us, about a half a mile down the path, is the remnants of the fort of John Smith of Jamestown fame. And it was an earth and star fort. We're not going to walk to that though. We're going to take the tour. So follow Goober into history as we tour Smith's Fort Mansion here. Well, here we are at Smith's Fort. Captain John Smith's. And here we go with Goober the Traveling Bear. Very cool.
There's a place to bump your head.
All right, we're about to enter Smith's Fort house. Follow Goober into history as we go.
Don't bump your head.
Don't bump your head, everyone.
Don't bump your head.
And you folks are.
Well, Goober the Traveling Bear has arrived at Smith's Fort. And we start our tour in the gift shop. And they have some really cool things here. The small library. And books. Really neat. Okay, archaeology. Now, we actually bought our membership. So, all right. So, we're going to walk into history here at Smith's Fort. And then when we leave, we'll probably pick up a few doodads from their wonderful gift shop.
For that introduction, Tom. And as Tom said, my name is Cynthia. And welcome to the Manor House at Smith's Fort. We are one of 6 properties owned by Preservation Virginia and open to the public. Preservation Virginia was formerly known as the Association for the Preservation of Virginia Antiquities, or APVA. We were created in 1889. We are the oldest organization of its kind in the nation. And over the years, we've saved over 250 properties. Tom, I think somebody's approaching right now. Well, for the Preservation of Virginia Antiquities, or APVA. We were created in 1889. We are the oldest organization of its kind in the nation, and over the years, we have saved over 250 properties. Historic Jamestown was our flagship property. We received 22.5 acres from the Barney family in 1893 on Jamestown Island. The National Park Service owns the rest of that island, so we operate that property collaboratively with the National Park Service. So your memberships will get you in for free on our side, but the National Park Service might charge you an admission if you don't have a pass or something to get in on their side. They own the parking lot and the entrance to the facility and other things. So our property, Smith's Fort, derives its name from the actual fort that Captain John Smith of Jamestown planned and started constructing during the summer and early fall of 1609. He had the assistance of about 20 to 40 men with shovels. Smith envisioned a retreat port, someplace on the south side of the James River to which townsfolk could flee in case of attack by Spanish or Native Americans. And then an unfortunate discovery was made that put an end to the construction on the fort, which was never resumed. Rats from English ships had gotten into the storehouse at Jamestown and ruined and depleted the food supply that had just been built up by going to all of the Native American tribes and gathering up all the corn stuffs that they had. So there's not much left out and around either. So unfinished and in nascent form, the new fort was never used. But its importance and desirability were always present in the mind of John Smith. So on his 1612 map, he wrote the new fort on the south side of the James River, opposite James Fort, which would be the old fort. So when I say that we have the remnant of a very early stage fort, we have a 2 to 3 foot tall earthen berm, about 15 feet wide, as long as from here to the parking lot, Then there's a moat that is parallel to that berm, created from the removal of earth to build the berm. It is the oldest existing above ground English structure in North America, 416 years old this summer. But the fact that the rats got in and depleted the food supply was just one of the many contributing factors to the starving time during the winter of 1609 to 1610, when the population went from 300 in the fall to 60 by late winter. So the early name for this area of land we're on right now is Tappahannock, between two creeks, 1 mile apart, Gray's Creek and Crouch's Creek. From here down to the ferries, about 1,200 to 2,000 acres was the dower gift that Chief Powhatan gave to John Rolfe and Pocahontas upon their marriage in 1614. Today we call this area of land Scotland Neck. It's unlikely that John and Pocahontas ever built a house here or lived here. But by his death in 1622, John Rolfe had patented and planted 400 acres with tobacco using the assistance of indentured servants. Now, John Rolfe was a farmer from Norfolk, England, and before he ever came to Virginia, he came up with the idea that, yes, you could successfully cultivate tobacco in the Virginia colony. That's why he came. Virginia was a money-making venture through a stock market. It was not for religious toleration, as were Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. But when John Rolfe arrived in 1610, he found that the Native Americans were smoking an indigenous tobacco leaf that he thought was too bitter to be successful as a trade commodity with England. The Spanish dominated European trade with a sweeter tobacco from the Caribbean and South America. But by 1611, John Rolfe was able to obtain tobacco seeds from Trinidad, which he used to cross with a native species to create a hybrid plant known as the Virginia sweetleaf. It was less biting, more palatable, milder, and successfully grown in Virginia soil and climate. And then very rapidly, by 1612, John Rolfe begins.
Okay, we're going up the stairs. Well, here we are. This is the main hallway.
Flooring exists throughout the house, except for 3 treads on the stairs going up to the children's room. This is the actual color. It is a Williamsburg color called Apollo Room Blue, or the Apollo Room of the Raleigh Tavern on the Duke of Gloucester Street in Williamsburg. And both the hall and the adjacent downstairs bedchamber were painted the same Apollo Room Blue. In the best china in this buffet as well. However, we exhibit 18th century British, and over on this side you can see I highlighted the Wilmington, Delaware, that's 1700. It has crushed black walnut veneer on the drawers, and the other and it's also known as a gate leg because 2 legs on opposing corners swing out in opposite directions to support Connecticut in 1785. And yes, they have been recovered in a period design, which is a Williamsburg design. Now in its original frame, under original glass, from 1855, it depicts the romanticized marriage of Pocahontas and John Rolfe. When I say romanticized, all original. And if you pull the door to the entire history of the house.
Wow. Amazing.
So is that the same lonely pine that they're trying to throw out at Quincy Castle?
Which she kept under lock and key, and most likely she held the key. Because inside, she had a spice cabinet.
Oh.
The bed is made of mahogany, that's 1785. The cradle is made of wild cherry, late 18th century. Behind you is a lady's dressing table. So this is from Thomas Kitchen's map. And it is taken from the 1770s. So right here, whoops, try to get this not so bright. Right here, that squiggly line is Gray's Creek. It is beautiful, isn't it? Yes.
All right, we're heading up the stairs. So, the second floor is self-guided. And around the corner we'll go. All right. Very cool. There's the staircase going down. Here we have a chest. Okay. And here we have another bedroom. Smith's Fort. Goober the Traveling Bear is with us. Well, Goober the Traveling Bear says he had a great time here at Smith's Fort, and you need to come and visit too. Well, let's take a look at the gardens out back. The formal gardens. I believe I've been here with Josh Warliff. And here's a view of Smith's Castle, or Smith's Fort from the back side. Really, really wonderful tour that we just had. And just amazing. Wow. Thank you for watching another Bill's History World with none other than Goober the Traveling Bear. Please stay safe, be kind, and be courteous. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, everyone.